Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel, where we dig deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, it's just a penny? Well, my friend, today's story might make you rethink that because we're talking about a 2014 D. Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.1 million. That's right, one single penny. And before you rush to check your couch cushions, let me break down exactly why this little copper coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. And stick around because I've got a personal story that might just convince you to never overlook pocket change again. The 2014 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark right below the date. Now, normally, these pennies aren't worth more than, well, a penny. But sometimes, mistakes happen at the US Mint, and collectors go crazy over rare errors and variations. Errors. Now, before you start thinking, oh great, another complicated coin nerd thing, trust me, this is simple, and it could make you rich. The most valuable 2014 D Lincoln pennies have a double die obverse, which means some of the lettering or Lincoln's face appears slightly doubled. It's like looking at a 3D movie without the glasses. If you've got one of these, you're already looking at serious cash. Then there's the off-center strike, where the coin's design is visibly shifted. The more off-center, the more valuable. If you have one that's about 50% off-center and still shows a full date and mint mark, congratulations, you've hit the coin jackpot. Now, let's talk about the holy grail of 2014 D pennies, the wrong metal planchet error. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on planchets meant for dimes or foreign coins. This means they're either too light, too thick, or even a completely different color than regular pennies. These are so rare that when one pops up, collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it. Some of these million-dollar pennies have been found in pocket change. Imagine that. You go to the gas station, get some change back, and unknowingly walk away with a fortune in your palm. Speaking of pocket change, let me tell you a personal story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a jar of coins, just your typical rainy day boredom activity. I came across this odd-looking penny, kinda shiny but with a weirdly thick edge. I thought, nah, it's just a dirty coin. But something told me to check it out. Turns out, it was an error coin, not a $1 million one, unfortunately, but still worth about $200. Not bad for a penny, right? First, don't clean it. Collectors want coins in their original condition. Next, check it under good lighting or a magnifying glass. If you spot anything unusual, compare it to online images of known error coins. And finally, if you think you've hit the jackpot, take it to a reputable coin dealer or have it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. Alright, coin hunters, now you know why the 2014 D Lincoln penny is worth a mind-blowing $1.1 million and how you might have one sitting right under your nose. So, next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk by, pick it up. It could be your ticket to an early retirement. And before you go digging through your car's cup holder, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin in the wild. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, what's up, fellow treasure hunters? Have you ever dug through your couch cushions, found an old penny, and thought, man, I wish this was worth $1 million? Well, guess what? It might be. Today, we're talking about the 1973 D Lincoln penny. Yes, that little copper coin you probably have lying around somewhere that could be worth up to $1.2 million. That's right. A single cent, worth more than a Ferrari. Or a house. Or a lifetime supply of tacos, which, honestly, sounds like a great investment. So, before you go cashing in your pennies for a pack of gum, stick around. We're breaking down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and the crazy story of how one lucky collector hit the jackpot. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. The Denver Mint produced over 3 billion pennies in 1973. So, at first glance, it might not seem like a rare coin. But here's the catch, not all of them were made correctly. Some had errors. And in the world of coin collecting, errors are where the money is. A small batch of these pennies was struck on bronze planchets, instead of the regular copper-plated zinc planchets used at the time. And if you happen to find one, congratulations, you might be holding $1 million payday in your hands. It must be from 1973 with a small d under the date, meaning it was minted in Denver. Regular 1973 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare error version weighs 3.1 grams. That's because it was struck on the wrong metal planchet. Grab a scale, and if your penny is a little heavier, it's time to get excited. If it has a slightly darker, deeper brown color compared to regular pennies, you might be onto something. Bronze doesn't stick to a magnet, so if your coin isn't magnetic, that's another good sign. Before you start shopping for your dream car, send your penny to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If they verify it's the real deal, you're in for a huge payday. Loved old pennies, had a small collection, nothing crazy. One day, he was sorting through a jar of spare change, looking for rare finds. He noticed one penny that felt a little heavier than the others. Instead of ignoring it, he weighed it, 3.1 grams. Curious, he took it to a coin shop, where the owner's jaw literally dropped. Turns out, he was holding one of these rare 1973 bronze pennies, and when he sent it in for grading, it came back as a genuine multi-million-dollar coin. He ended up selling it for $1.2 million at auction, just sitting in his house for years, suddenly making him a millionaire. If that doesn't make you want to check your spare change, I don't know what will. Collectors go wild for these coins because they tell a piece of history. Mistakes like this aren't supposed to happen, but when they do, they create legendary finds. And let's be real, who doesn't want to be the person who discovers a hidden fortune in their pocket? Look for that D-mint mark, weigh them, and see if you might have a winner. Get it authenticated. Don't just take a wild guess, send it to the pros and see if your coin is the real deal. If you love the idea of finding treasure in your loose change, hit that subscribe button because I've got tons of videos on valuable coins you don't want to miss. So, go grab that old piggy bank, raid your coin jar, and start searching. Who knows? The next millionaire could be you. Alright, folks, have you ever gone digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find a spare quarter for the vending machine, only to end up with a handful of pennies? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a life-changing $1.3 million? Yep, we're talking about the 2000 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable that it could turn your loose change into a fortune. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so special, how you can spot one, and why it's fetching big bucks in the coin collecting world. And trust me, you won't want to miss this, especially if you've got a jar of pennies just sitting around gathering dust. The 2000 Lincoln penny typically comes with a mint mark, either a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But some pennies from this year were struck without a mint mark, making them extremely rare. Imagine printing a batch of $100 bills, but forgetting to add the serial numbers. Yeah, big mistake. That's basically what happened with this penny. This kind of minting error is like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, except instead of visiting Willy Wonka's factory, you could be visiting a luxury car dealership or putting a hefty down payment on a house. First, flip that bad boy over and check for a mint mark. If it's missing one entirely, you might be onto something. But here's where it gets interesting, some counterfeits exist, so you want to get it verified by a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC. Also, condition matters. A penny that's been through the ringer and looks like it survived a zombie apocalypse isn't going to fetch as much as one in mint condition. The shinier, the better. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors are passionate people. When a rare coin like this enters the market, it's like a feeding frenzy for sharks. Supply and demand. Only a handful of these no mint mark pennies exist, and serious collectors will pay big bucks to add one to their collection. The highest recorded sale for one of these pennies was a jaw-dropping $1.3 million at auction. Imagine paying $1 million for something you used to flick at your little brother growing up. A few years ago, I was rolling up coins to take to the bank when I found a weird-looking penny, no mint mark, kind of shinier than the rest. My heart started racing. Was this the penny? I rushed to a local coin dealer, my hands shaking, ready to cash in on my early retirement. But hey, it was worth 50 cents, which, if you think about it, is a 50x return on investment for a single penny. Not bad, right? So the moral of the story is, always check your change. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting right under your nose. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny is out there, waiting to be discovered. Maybe it's in your pocket, your piggy bank, or that random drawer in your kitchen filled with batteries and takeout menus. If you love learning about rare coins and turning spare change into serious cash, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'll be back with more tips on spotting valuable coins, strategies to build your collection, and maybe even a few more hilarious coin hunting fails. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, man, I wish this thing was worth $1 million? Well, what if I told you that a 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.4 million? Yep, you heard that right. That little copper coin that most people ignore might just be the golden ticket you never knew you had. Today, we're diving deep into the 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can check if you have one hiding in your loose change. Oh, and stick around to the end, I'll be sharing a crazy personal story about a time I almost threw away a rare penny and how I learned my lesson the hard way. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First off, what makes this penny special? The 1963 Lincoln penny was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark at the time. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most of these pennies are common, but a few rare errors and high-grade specimens have turned them into collector's gold. If your 1963 penny is in mint state 67 plus or better, you're looking at some serious cash. Coins in top condition are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands to over $1 million for the best ones. Some 1963 pennies have unique errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or even rare planchet issues. These oddities make them much more desirable, and the value shoots up fast. This penny was made of 95% copper, which makes it stand out. Fun fact, if you had a huge stash of pre-1982 pennies, the copper alone would be worth more than the face value. 1963 was also a time of major historical events. JFK was still president, the Beatles were rising to fame, and gas was like 30 cents a gallon. But little did people know that their spare change could one day be worth a fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a bunch of pennies. I tossed them into a jar, thinking they were worthless. Fast forward a few weeks, and I was watching a documentary about rare coins when I saw a 1963 no-mint mark penny flash across the screen. My heart dropped. I had just thrown a bunch of pennies into a Coinstar machine. Of course, I ran back to check, but it was too late. That $1.4 million penny could have been mine, but nope. Lesson learned, always check your change before giving it away. If you have a 1963 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, check its condition, look for errors, and get it appraised by a professional. You never know, you might just be sitting on a life-changing coin. And hey, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about coins worth big money. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever had a crazy coin find. Who knows, maybe your story will be featured in a future video. Alright, imagine this. You're digging through your loose change, just trying to scrounge up enough for a coffee, and bam, you spot an old, dusty penny. You think, it's just a penny. But what if I told you that little coin could be worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1 million penny today. We're talking about the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn you into an overnight millionaire. And before you go tossing your pennies into that tip jar at the gas station, you might want to hear me out because you could be holding onto a small fortune without even realizing it. So, grab your coin jars, check your piggy banks, and let's dive into the fascinating world of this valuable penny. The Beatles were ruling the music charts, people were wearing bell-bottoms unironically, and the US Mint was doing something pretty interesting. Because of a coin shortage in the mid-1960s, the Mint decided not to put mint marks on coins between 1965 and 1967. Well, back then, people were hoarding coins like they were gold bars, thanks to the rising value of silver. The Mint wanted to prevent collectors from swooping in and taking all the coins out of circulation. So, for 3 years, no pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters had a mint mark. That means all 1967 pennies look the same, or do they? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not every 1967 penny is worth a fortune, trust me, I've checked my couch cushions, and I'm still broke. But certain ones have errors or rare variations that make collectors lose their minds, and their wallets. If your penny has that fresh, bright copper glow like it was just minted yesterday, it's way more valuable than a dull, brown one. A full red 1967 penny graded MS67 or higher could fetch thousands. This is when the design looks like it's been stamped twice, causing the lettering in Lincoln's face to appear doubled. If you spot this, congratulations, you might be looking at a jackpot. If your penny looks like the Mint employee sneezed while stamping it, and the design is way off-center, that's a rare error that can fetch serious money. If the coin looks stretched out or the edges are missing, it could be another rare variety collectors go crazy for. First off, don't go spending your old pennies on gumballs just yet. If you have a 1967 penny, here's how to check if it's worth anything. Get yourself a magnifying glass, or use your phone's zoom feature, I won't judge, and inspect the coin for any doubling on the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's face stud. If it looks suspiciously shiny and in amazing condition, you might be onto something. Consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it properly graded and valued. So, a while back, I found an old penny in my car's cup holder. It was a 1967 penny, no mint mark. I got so excited, I ran inside, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like Sherlock Holmes. I was convinced I had just found the holy grail of coins. I even started planning how I'd spend my millions. Spoiler alert, I was definitely getting a lifetime supply of tacos. But then, reality hit. Turns out, it was just a regular 1967 penny, worth exactly 1 cent. Always check your coins, but don't start quitting your job just yet. Point one of the best places to auction off rare coins to serious collectors. Scammers are out there, so make sure you know your coin's value before listing. Local coin dealers or national coin shows can connect you with collectors who will pay top dollar. Online coin forums, websites like CoinTalk and PCGS forums can help you get expert opinions and potential buyers, but the rare ones can be worth millions. Errors like double diabers, off-center strikes, and broad strikes can send your penny's value through the roof. Always check your change, you never know what treasure you might have sitting in your pocket. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins worth serious money, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that a simple 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That tiny copper coin in your pocket might just be your golden ticket. So, before you toss it in a tip jar or let it roll under the fridge, stick around, because today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so insanely valuable. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. If you take a close look at most pennies, you'll see a little letter under the year, D4 Denver, S4 San Francisco. But if your 1978 penny is missing that letter, congratulations. You've got yourself a Philadelphia minted coin. Now, normally, Philly pennies aren't super rare, but this specific year has a unique twist. It all comes down to errors, rarity, and condition. See, back in 1978, the US Mint made a mistake on a few of these pennies, resulting in a striking error that collectors absolutely lose their minds over. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning they were made from a slightly different metal composition than usual. Others had double die errors, which means certain details, like Lincoln's profile or the words, "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled if you look closely. But here's where it gets wild. Not all 1978 no mint mark pennies are worth millions. To hit the jackpot, your penny needs to be in pristine condition, think shiny, barely touched, and preferably graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A regular 1978 penny in worn condition? Probably worth face value. But one in near perfect condition with an error? Boom, life-changing money. A while back, I was going through some old change I had thrown in a jar. You know, the kind of spare change that collects dust on your dresser for years. As I was sifting through it, I spotted a 1978 penny. At first, I shrugged it off, because, hey, it's just a penny, right? But then I remembered hearing about valuable old coins. So, I did some quick research, pulled out my magnifying glass, and started examining it like a detective solving a mystery. Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was still a rare variety worth a couple of $100. Moral of the story? Never underestimate your spare change. So, the next time you come across a 1978 penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hands. And even if it's not worth millions, hey, it's still a fun treasure hunt, right? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Imagine this, you're digging through your loose change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and boom, you stumble across a penny. Not just any penny. A 2020 Lincoln penny. You think, meh, just another penny. But hold up. What if I told you this tiny copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.7 million. That's a life-changing amount of money for something most people don't even bother to pick up off the ground. Today, we're diving deep into what makes the 2020 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how you can turn your spare change into a fortune. Let's go. The 2020 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mark under the date. Now, normally, these pennies are made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, and they're pretty common. So why is this one worth over $1 million? Collectors go absolutely bananas over mint errors, and the 2020 D penny has some of the craziest ones out there. Here are the top ones that could make you rich if Lincoln's face looks a little blurry or doubled. Congratulations! You may have a rare double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by accident, and collectors love it. If the image looks like it's been printed off-center, especially by 50% or more, that's a big deal. The more off-center, the more valuable. Ever seen a ghostly outline of a design that's not supposed to be there? That's a die clash, where the dies hit each other without a blank coin in between. Spooky and valuable. If you see a 2020 D penny with parts of the date or letters missing, check again. Sometimes weak strikes cause important details to disappear, making these coins rare and desirable. Some pennies accidentally got struck on the wrong type of metal, and if you have one that weighs slightly more or less than a normal penny, which should be 2.5 grams, you might have struck gold or copper. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually find one of these legendary pennies? Here's my advice: check your pocket change, rolls of pennies from the bank, and even Coinstar machines. You'd be amazed at what people unknowingly throw away, and let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, Jake, is obsessed with hunting for rare coins. One day, he's at a gas station, and the cashier hands him some change. He looks down, sees a weird-looking penny, and thinks, that looks different. Turns out, it was a rare error penny from 2019, worth over $3,000. And he got it for 1 cent. Since then, he's been checking every single penny that passes through his hands. Moral of the story? Pay attention to your change. eBay and online marketplaces, tons of collectors are hunting for rare error pennies. Get it professionally evaluated. If you have a truly rare error variety, an auction could drive the price sky high. If you think you have something special, send it in for authentication. The higher the grade, the higher the value. The 2020 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but hidden among them are rare error varieties worth a small fortune. If you find one with a double die, an off-center strike, missing letters, or a crazy metal mix-up, you could be looking at serious cash. Remember my buddy Jake? That could be you next. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more crazy coin stories, money-making tips, and valuable finds coming your way. Don't let $1 million penny slip through your fingers. Also, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's talk treasure hunting. Hey everyone! Imagine finding a single penny that could change your life. You check your pocket, and there it is, an unassuming 1991 D Lincoln penny. But what if I told you that this little coin could be worth a staggering $1.8 million? Yeah, that's right. A tiny, copper-colored, everyday penny, worth more than a luxury sports car, a dream house, or even a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you start dumping out every coin jar in your house, stick around because I'm about to break down everything you need to know about this incredibly valuable coin. We'll talk about what makes it special, how you can spot one, and of course, how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to find one. So, grab a snack, sit back, and let's talk about a penny that's worth a fortune. For starters, this penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the little D mint mark just below the date. Now, most 1991 D pennies are just your regular run-of-the-mill coins, worth exactly 1 cent. But, as with all great treasure hunts, the devil is in the details. The key to this coin's insane value lies in rare minting errors. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, that's the metal disc that turns into a coin. Others may have double die errors, misalignments, or other factory slip-ups that make them ultra-rare. And rarity equals big bucks. Here's a quick story for you. A few years ago, a collector bought a roll of pennies at a bank, the kind you get for 50 cents, and inside, he found a pristine 1991 D penny with a crazy error. Turns out, this little mistake was a jackpot, and he ended up selling it at auction for over $1 million. Imagine rolling up to your local coffee shop and paying for your latte with a penny that could have bought the entire coffee shop instead. Great question. Here's what to look for. If the lettering or Lincoln's face looks slightly doubled, you might be sitting on gold. If the image isn't perfectly centered, that's another good sign. Some of these pennies were mistakenly struck on nickel or dime planchets, making them much more valuable. If your penny looks brand new, never been touched, and still has its original shine, you're in luck. Well, first, start checking your change. Dig through those old piggy banks, coin jars, and couch cushions. You never know where treasure is hiding. Second, visit local coin shops, flea markets, and estate sales. You'd be surprised what people overlook. And if you're really serious, consider buying unsearched penny rolls from banks. It's a bit of a gamble, but hey, that's part of the fun. You'll want to get it authenticated and graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. This will give you an official grade, which can significantly boost the value when selling at an auction. And trust me, collectors are willing to shell out serious cash for a high-grade 1991 D error penny. The story of the 1991 D Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Crazy, right? A single cent potentially worth $1.8 million. And all you have to do is check your pocket change before you run off to search every coin in your house. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making strategies, this is the channel for you. I've got plenty more insider tips coming up, so you won't want to miss out. And hey, if you do find one of these legendary pennies, let me know in the comments. Who knows? You might just be the next lucky coin hunter to hit the jackpot.